want to be pretty. Girls want to fit in. Girls want to seem like they don't care. But girls want someone to be there. Girls want to braid each other's hair and declare.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of If It Be Your Will podcast. I'm reaching again across several nautical miles over into the UK. I believe I'm dipping into Bristol, right, Nina? Brighton. Amazing. So Brighton, I have Nina Winder-Lynn with us today, who is also a part of the New Eves, who put out The New Eve is Rising last year. Unbelievable. But Nina has a new solo record coming out in August, which is called Why I Love. August 14th it'll be coming out, and she's been so gracious to come and sit with us for 25 minutes and talk about her music. Nina, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I've been really enjoying this solo work, and I've been a big fan of the New Eves as well when you guys dropped your LP in 2025, like last year. Before we hopped on here, I did mention that you seem very busy. You also had a book of poems that came out in 2025 as well, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, I don't want to massacre the name, but Nina, how do you say that book of poetry? What's the title?
So it's Röd ska jag leva, and it's actually a quote that I just couldn't translate. It's a quote from my favorite poet, and it didn't translate, so I was like, sorry, it's in Swedish, everyone.
Awesome. Well, you are Swedish, so that's perfect. I love the way it sounds too and how you say it. That's why I did not want to say it, because it would have sounded horrible. So, Nina, I love starting these off with a little kind of walk down memory lane a little bit. And like for you musically, what were some of those beginning musical ideas or journeys that started to kind of connect you to music as something that you would be doing for a long time in your life? Like, what got you hooked into music? Do you have any early stories of when music was like, bam, yes, I must do it?
Yeah, I think I don't have one of those like one moments. I think it's very gradual, because my parents always listened to music. Sorry, there's an ambulance outside. But actually, I'm gonna close the window. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I grew up with music, and then I think it was like, when I was sort of 10 and I started finding my own music taste, and I had like a little gang of weirdos, and I got introduced to Led Zeppelin, and it just kind of set me off. And then I was like, I had my iPod, we had our own thing going in this little group, and it was just such a magical time to like, oh, there's so much music that like I can find and that I can feel something about. And then I always wanted to be in a band, and I don't know, it didn't happen. And I started I wanted to play electric guitar real bad. In Sweden, it's like you can go after school to learn an instrument, and it's like everyone wants to play electric guitar, so I didn't get in. And then my second choice was cello, which was quite random, because my mom was like, well, that teacher was nice and that would be cool. But I was like, okay. And then I ended up playing cello, which, is a classical instrument. So I did classical training and went to classical music college, and it was horrible. But I managed to keep some kind of rebellious spirit, and like, I do want to keep doing music, but I don't want to do it like this.
Right. What was it about that formal musical education that just didn't connect with you? Was it just it was so static, so removed from emotion and
Yeah, there was like no emotion, you know. And this, I think, is afterwards I've seen this, like, wow, it was all like, how much are you practicing? Like, how expensive is your instrument? How famous are your parents? How like miserable you are because you're literally just practicing 8 hours a day and then you're good enough. But that we never talked about, oh, why do we play music? Or like, how does it feel to play music? Or what do you want to play? And, you know, there was no room for real expression. Um, and that didn't sit right with me and a lot of other people as well. And a lot of people quit, actually.
right? Did that experience kind of propel you to do the opposite, to start exploring yourself more? And is that when you started to write music, or were you doing that even before you went into to uni?
Yeah, I think it did definitely propel me. I started like I did kind of these like little activism within the college, and it was like because as a cellist, you're like, oh, you only have to play classical music. And I was like, well, can I join the like jazz band or can I do this? And can I? And they were like, no, 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 no. You're the classical music. It's crazy. And then I did like my final project. I made a concert and I wrote all this music for string instruments and played like rock music basically, and my own song actually, my first own song performed, and had like a whole speech like against the institution and the teachers, and it was like a riot, and it was amazing.
You felt like what you wanted music to feel like,
Yeah, yeah,
like for the first time, or in that setting, I guess.
yeah.
That's really cool. And what was that first song? How did that first song that you wrote came to be? Like, were you still pushing yourself to explore your own music while you were kind of in that silo of classical? And if so, like, what were the songs that you were writing about? Where they must have just been the complete opposite as to what you were told you had to
Yeah,
perform.
yeah. I think it's actually it was they were kind of I've always been obsessed with Patti Smith, and she was definitely there at this point, and there was kind of like they came from this poems, I think, and it was very intuitive because I didn't know how to write music and I didn't really know how to speak English, but it was in English, and which I think was quite interesting. And but what I did was I didn't think that I could sing, so I had someone else sing it, and I was playing cello. So I got my friend to like, oh, this is like what you gotta sing. So I hadn't worked out that I could actually sing by the point.
Well,
Really.
yeah. And what was that process like? How, finding your voice, because your voice is so distinctive. You know, like it's raw, it's ethereal, it's not in your face, but it's present. You know, like you're drawn to listen to it and drawn to it. I mean, was that process of finding your voice a long journey, or did it kind of just start happening really naturally?
I mean, thank you first. That's very nice of you. Like it was quite long. Yeah, it's I like I said, like I didn't think that I could sing. Like I really wanted to sing, but I thought you were kind of born with like a good voice or like a good voice, you know, and I didn't sing in the choir at school or college for the same reason that it was like you had to be very good and you had to sound very generic. And so, but I think there was always this really, really strong urge to use my voice to sing. And what I did actually was like, we, my family have like a little cabin up in the north of Sweden, and we go there in the summer, and there's this big river with waterfalls, and I remember like going in this river and along with the waterfalls, and so no one can hear you because the water's so loud. And then I would just like, okay, now like a voice, and I can go for it, and that was then opened.
Well, and were you surprised at like what you were able to do?
Yeah,
when you were kind of in those isolated moments of like figuring out how far you could push it? And
Yeah.
yeah, were there happy surprises, in that? Like,
Yeah. It was, yeah, first it took quite a lot to even I'm like in a waterfall in the middle of nowhere, like surely no one can hear me, but I still had to like it's okay, like I can be loud, but yeah, then and it didn't all like click, but if that was the beginning, and then I started singing more, and then gradually it became bigger and bigger. Yes.
yeah, yeah. And when did you start feeling comfortable of letting other people hear your voice? Like, did that come pretty quickly after your waterfall concert?
I think it kind of, I think it happened when it was like my voice and an electric guitar, actually. Like I, I remember starting playing with my friend Daisy, and that was like she was playing drums, I was playing electric guitar, and I didn't know how to do that, and that was like the magical moment where I was like, "Oh my god, like this is incredible!" And then you can be loud because the instruments are loud,
Right, 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 right.
Yeah.
Hmm. And you wanted to do that on stage too? Like, the idea of performing was something that interests you as well, of being the face of the band and being up front there. And I mean, kind of like a lot of your music is very self-discovery and figuring things out and place, and mm, it can be kind of journalistic in a way, some of it. I remember reading that you said for your solo that they're all love songs, really, right? Which tend to be quite, they come from a tender spot. Was that tricky for you to deliver those kinds of lyrics in front of people, and kind of like, here I am? Like, did it take some adjusting to do that?
I think it was actually like almost the opposite, that like it felt so, I mean, it's terrifying, obviously, but it felt so amazing, like, and liberating, you know? So I've always felt quite at home performing. Even when I did the classical, it was like I would go all in. It's like, this is a cello piece you're playing. It's like, I'm playing this. I'm feeling this, my whole body.
Right. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And tell us a little bit about your writing. When you're writing songs, like, what's your process? Do you have a kind of a process that you go through from an idea to something that you would, bring to the band or think about recording it? Uh, like, what's your process like of writing songs?
So I think like when it's with the New Eves, it's very different because it's such a communal thing. Like we write together, we jam together, everyone brings words, and it's like really, really interesting and fun. But for my solo things, it's much more like a private process. I've figured out that like the best way for me to do it is to have the lyrics first.
Okay.
So it will be like I made a poem, and then like, oh, maybe this is a song, and it becomes a song. And then so when I bring it to the band, it will be more or less like finished. Uh, Sometimes it's like it's just loose things, and I have to show someone because you go crazy in your own mind. And a lot of time I show Ella, who's also in the news, and she also plays in my solo band, which is great. But sometimes I show the others as well. I'm like, should we try this? And
Right.
it works, maybe it doesn't work. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what was there some songs off the new record that Wild Love that were kind of a catalyst for the whole record to come? Because I did read that you were just thinking maybe an EP, and then all these other songs started to happen. Was there one song that kind of kicked that record off, or a couple of songs that kicked it off, and then it it started to take shape better?
Yeah, so like the record wasn't actually, I think I didn't really have the kind of self-belief almost to think that I was making a record. It was like this, because obviously I'm very busy with the New Eves, and then it's like kind of this secondary thing, like, oh, I've got these songs, maybe we do that. I don't know. So yeah, it was gonna be an EP. The oldest song is "You're Not an Angel," which is actually like 8 years old or something, but it's so strong for me that it definitely needs to go on the album. And in a way, yeah, it's opened the whole album and it's opened this whole world. And so yeah, I don't know. I wasn't sure if the songs were gonna, get along, but then they all came together and they really, really came together. And that's when I was like, okay, this is like a love album.
Right, right. Yeah, I love that you were saying they're all love songs, and I think I also read you were just like, yeah, they're just folk songs. They're like, but a simple folk song can have all these layers and nuances and emotion jammed into them, right? And it just transforms it. And were all those songs, like you said, one of the songs was older, and you kind of had that as what was your intent behind this record? Is it just to like put your songs out so that, you kind of get them moving into a different direction? Like they're out in the ether now, they're out in the world. Okay, I can kind of put them aside and focus on other things. Like, what was your intent behind wanting to put something out that wasn't the New Eves and much more of your own solo stuff? Like, what was your focus around that? Why so, I guess?
I think I see it more as necessity, like for myself. I can't help writing these songs. Like they need to come out, like, and then yeah, obviously it's like been amazing doing the New Eves and having that response from people, and like the music is doing things, and then but then I do feel like I need to do my own things as well, and then being encouraged by like some amazing friends and people is like, this music, other people need to hear this as well, and then taking these steps like, okay, let's record it. And it was quite a journey, really.
Yeah. I mean, every record is, right? Like they don't happen overnight. And oftentimes when I talk to people that aren't musicians, they just don't understand the amount of time artists put into a single LP. Like there's so many layers of work that get into it. And if you're kind of looking back at that whole process of Wild Love, how are you feeling about it? Like, how are you feeling like the end result? Are you happy with what came out through this? I'm going to put out my own solo record.
Yeah, I feel like amazing. It's it's such an achievement, and I actually have to stop and tell myself that and recognize like how lucky I am, like how this is it's like a privilege, but it's also I have worked so hard, so I'm proud. Like I feel proud.
Yeah, absolutely. And is this something that is now in your preview? Like you're going to, still have the New Eves, but you're also going to continue writing your own music. Like, as you said, it's a necessity for you.
Yeah, I think this is like what I'm working at the moment, to have that balance. I do want to do both things. And there was some like people, I don't know, there was someone on YouTube that commented like, oh, but I hope this is fine, but I hope the New Eves are going to come back. And so it's like, it's not like that, the New Eves we're still going. And
yeah. Because I mean, that the release that came out last year, The New Eve is Rising. I mean, did that come as a bit of a shock to you guys, as how much it was going to get picked up? And like, I mean, it's such a great record. Like, were you guys surprised as a band of like how desired that album was? Like everybody wanted it. Everybody's listening to it. It was like a new kind of style also. Like it just brought all of these different elements that we had heard kind of, you can hear in individual songs and albums, but I don't know, you guys collided so many different things together. And it probably is a little of that improvisational that you said too, right? Where you bring stuff in and you all kind of bring your own stuff to it. But was that kind of like, were you guys kind of caught off guard about the attention that release got?
I mean, yeah, we were like surprised when people, like when we played our first gig and people liked it, we were surprised.
Well, yeah. And now you play shows and I'm sure people sing along to the songs. Like,
But it's crazy. Like I
yeah.
don't believe that. Like we've played these festivals in Barcelona and Porto last week, or I don't know, the other week, Primavera, and there's so many people singing along, and we were just like, what? It's like,
That's cool.
how is this happening?
That's it. An artist told me, he's like, I know when I'm getting a bit of success when it's not all my friends at the show, and that some people know my lyrics to the song. They're like singing along, like as like a measure of like, it's not just friends anymore. It's like you're getting attention around the world. Nina, thanks so much for this. I have one last question. So the record comes out in August. What are the rest of the plans for you and the New Eves and your solo stuff from here to the end of the year?
So the New Eves, we're playing a couple of festivals this summer. We're going to Denmark next week and Belgium, and then Ireland and Sicily, and I don't know, a bit all over the place. And then when my album comes out, I'm gonna do some touring with the band then in Europe and the UK. So it's gonna be quite busy.
Yeah. Well, you have so much work out there too that it's great to get it out there and let people hear it and kind of get their reactions to it as well. I imagine like you can get a pretty good reaction when you're going to do a show as to how much the audience might know about your music, right? Like you see it, right? It's pretty fascinating and validating at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, Nina, thank you so much. These are short, but I think we had a really cool view of your music and your journey. And I'm just so excited for the release of your record. I've been really, really enjoying it. Remember people, Wild Love, August 14th. You got lots of time to get excited. There's 2 singles out already on it. Both are amazing, Girls and This Is Our Life. All the best with all the touring, the music. And it's been a real pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's so nice to talk to you.
Thank you. Nice. Thanks.
You sailor, cowboy, soldier, you painter, poet, martyr, I know you know where you're going. I have seen your lips moving. I have seen your hands shaking. I know you love like a drum roll, like a downfall, like an avalanche. God, stop the world now, so that I may look at you, so that I may tell you I'm so proud. You hunter, soother, seer, you madman, you wild one, dreamer. Christ, it's a fish, but you